After a 3-3 road trip, the time is now for the Angels to get back on track and take advantage of their few days at home. Tonight, Dan Herron takes the hill as he and the Halos look to get back to their winning ways. A's and Angels is next. Well, the Angels returned home where they were 5-2 on the last homestand, coming off that 3-3 road trip, trying to turn things around. Just a quick 4-game homestand, the first of 2 tonight against the visiting Oakland Athletics. Hi, everybody, from inside the Big A. We welcome you back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West. I'm Victor Rojas, along with my partner, Mark Gubicza. As I pointed out, it's just a quick 4-game series, second series of the year against the Oakland Athletics, a 4-game series here at the Big A, where Oakland took 3 of 4. And today, trying to get that offense going against Tyson Ross, who for some reason throws the ball exceptionally well, but he'll be facing a guy in the middle of the lineup by the name of Mark Trumbo, who's had an unbelievable week, especially with the distance on the home runs.
Well, he hit the ball so well on this past road trip, hit over 350 along that trip there to Minnesota and, of course, into Texas. He hits the ball so well because of the fact that he's got better plate coverage even than last year when he hit 29 home runs. As a rookie, he's able to turn on pitches on the inner half of the plate. He had 3 doubles on this road trip, including these 2 mammoth home runs he hit in Texas. He hit over 440-foot shot. 6 home runs, 16 RBIs, which leads the Angels right now. His patience and his ability to be able to hit well, even behind in the count, hit the ball hard to right field has been important for Trumbo. And, of course, his willingness to go out and actually carried his club on his back, saying he needs to go out there to do well for this team to win, and he's certainly been able to do so.
And with Torrey Hunter being placed on the restricted list before the game today, Mark will see some time out in the outfield. We'll also see Peter Bourjos, depending on how long Torrey Hunter will be away from this ball club. Dan Herron will be towing the slab for the Angels, trying to bounce back a rough start against the Minnesota Twins the last time out. We're just about ready for baseball, so sit back and relax. Lineups and first pitch when we return. Jack's Value Deal. Right now at Jack in the Box, you can try Jack's Value Deal. It's chicken nuggets, a Junior Jack, value fries, and a drink, all for just $3.99 plus tax. By Hyundai, the votes are in. The Hyundai Elantra is the 2012 North American Car of the Year. Visit your Southern California Hyundai dealer today. And by 76 Gas. We're on the driver's side. Couldn't ask for a more beautiful day here for baseball as the Halos try to bounce back. The team arriving late, or maybe early, I guess, depending on how you look at it, around 2 o'clock in the morning local time. So 4 o'clock Central Time. They were in the Midwest over the last week. And they are ready to go for game number 1 of this quick 2-game set. You see the Halos have taken the field. We'll take a look. Bob Melvin's starting lineup for the Oakland A's, who are in second place in the American League West, 5 games back of the Texas Rangers with an 18-17 record. Jamal Weeks is back in the lineup. He's leading things off at second base. Cliff Pennington is the shortstop. Josh Reddick's been a nice find for Oakland. He is in the 3 spot in right field. Johnny Gomes is a designated hitter. Seth Smith gets a start in left. Josh Donaldson over at third. Derek Martin's over at first. Kurt Suzuki, the Cal State Fullerton product, is batting 8th and doing the catching. And the prospect Colin Cowgill is the center fielder, and he will bat tonight. Taking on Dan Herron, who comes into this one with a 1-3 mark and a 4.19 ERA.
Dan Herron, last time I battled that little sore back issue, wasn't able to finish off a number of his pitches, but 2-2 in his career against Oakland with an ERA 3.45. Again, the big thing for him is establishing his fastball on the outer half, using a cut fastball in and finishing off these hitters with that split finger fastball.
Defensively behind Herron tonight, you've got Vernon Wells in left. Mike Trout is in center field. Mark Trumbo gets a start in right field. Alberto Callasco and Eric Ibar on the left side of the infield. Meister Sturris and Albert Pujols on the right side, and Bobby Wilson back behind the plate.
And Eric Ibar in shortstop position back out there today. 5 errors so far this year and 137 total chances for him. Above average arm strength. Look for him to be busy tonight with that cut fastball, and of course that split finger fastball from Dan Herron, getting some ground balls and doing the great job at shortstop.
Ibar getting the day off yesterday in Texas. The Angels taking 2 of 3 from Minnesota, then dropping 2 of 3 to the Texas Rangers. And now back home for 4. Then a 10-game road trip coming up that begins on Friday. The interleague schedule is already upon us. 3 against the San Diego Padres, 3 against the Oakland A's beginning a week from tonight in Oakland, and then 4 against the Seattle Mariners. That'll be the first time those 2 teams will have met this year. Jamal Weeks hitting .205 with a couple of home runs, 5 runs batted in, has 5 doubles, 1 triple. Oakland offensively continuing to struggle, but yet the pitching has been very good. They've gotten some key moments offensively where they've picked up some big hits. And that's why they've been able to sustain a winning record right now as Weeks grounds this one over to short. 2 hops over to Ibar, and there is the first out. We'll quickly take a look at our Hyundai key to the game.
Well, I'm going a little bad company here. Rock steady. This man right here has been so effective as a starter. Takes the baseball every 5 days and goes out and gives you a quality effort. Our guy right here, an opportunity to be able to start this quick homestand off before we get into interleague play, in which the Angels have been very, very successful. Could be the guy to get this team rolling once again.
Dan will face Cliff Pennington, the shortstop now. Pennington looks at his strike. .211 average for Pennington. 6 doubles and a triple. 7 runs batted in. Also has 1 home run. 5 for his last 30. Mentioned the struggles that the A's offense has had, and it seems like we've talked about this for the last couple of years. But this year the pitching's been very good. There's the skipper, Bob Melvin. They are 14th in average, 8th in home runs, however, 13th in runs scored, 13th in on-base percentage, 14th in slugging yet. Like I said, you get the key hits when you need them. You get some quality pitching. Oakland has certainly gotten that. They are 3rd in the American League and earned run average of 3.54. You can win some games as Pennington chops this one softly to Albert Pujols, and there are 2 down.
How about you look at their stats, though? They lead the American League in stolen bases with 34. So you generally don't see that with an Oakland ball club. They're very aggressive on the bases. Past, they used to sit back and look for the 3-run home run, but now with the inability to necessarily hit a lot of home runs, they've been aggressive as far as stealing bases and getting in scoring position.
They got a couple of guys on the shelf. Coco Crisp has been hurt. Yoenis Cespedes, the Cuban product, was off to a terrific start. Is on the disabled list. Hurt his hand during batting practice last week. So it's up to this guy right here, Josh Reddick, the former Boston Red Sox, to
to fill the void in the middle part of the lineup. 8 home runs for Reddick. Seen him play all 3 outfield positions, getting to start in right field. He's got a 6-game hitting streak with a .290 batting average overall, 19 runs batted in. Swing and a miss on the off speed. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We noticed last time in when the Angels played a 4-game series against, he will chase that ball in the dirt, but if you make a mistake with the fastball, he's going to hit it pretty hard. Since April 25th, hitting .348 with 6 home runs and 16 RBI.
Reaching for that off-speed pitch, just got a piece of it, and the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another 1-2. This one's hammered out toward deep right field. Trumbo's going to look up, and the Oakland A's are going to be on the board. 1-0 Athletics.
Just like I said, he's been red hot since April 25th. And a guy that will chase something out of his zone, but this ball was up, elevated. He didn't miss this mistake. But going with that 2-seam fastball. The danger of a 2-seam fastball, if it runs over the middle of the plate, it becomes very hittable, and that's what happened. A little bit too much movement, dropped the wrist enough, would allow that baseball to run the middle of the plate.
9th home run for Reddick, his 20th run batted in, and now a 7-game hitting streak. So the Angels will play from behind here as Johnny Gomes, the DH, steps to the plate. Takes that one just off the plate for ball 1. Gomes had his 7-game hitting streak snapped yesterday, a .246 average with 5 home runs and 12 runs batted in. That one just below the knees. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 1. Aaron's coming off a loss against the Minnesota Twins. Lasting just 3 2/3. 8 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned. No strikeouts and 2 walks. 2-1 pitch. This one's line to left. Vernon Wells back a couple of steps. The inning comes to an end, but Oakland strikes first on the Josh Reddick home run. We go to the bottom of the first. 1-0 Oakland. A look at Mike Scioscia starting 9 as the Angels roll into this from 5 games under 500 at 15-20. Mike Trout leading things off in center field. Meiser Sturis gets to start at second base. Howie Kendrick gets the night off. Albert Pujols at first. Kendrick Morales is the DH. Mark Trumbo in right field. Alberto Callaspo gets to start at third. Vernon Wells back in left. Eric Ibar is the shortstop after the day off yesterday. And Bobby Wilson batting ninth. and doing the catching as they take on the 25-year-old Oakland native by the name of Tyson Ross.
Tyson Ross is throwing extremely well here at the Big A against the Angels. His fastball 89-94 with tremendous sink action on it. Gets a lot of ground ball outs. Very good slider and changeup.
1-3 record of 7.71 ERA in 5 starts this year, 25 and 2/3 innings, 36 hits, 13 strikeouts, 11 walks.
Gives up a lot of base runners.
First one is down and away, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Trout at 306 on the year with a couple of home runs, 7 runs batted in. Multi-hit game last night, 2 for 4 against Texas as he looks at a strike. It evens the count at 1-1. 5 doubles for Mike as well. This is the second start of the year for Ross against the Angels. The breaking pitch catches the inside corner, 1-2. His first start of the season came right here at the Big A on the 17th of April. Went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, struck out 3 and walked nobody, allowing 7 hits. No decision. Fastball is high, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And his last 2 starts here, 13 innings pitched, his 2 earned runs allowed. He's been around the strike zone. We've heard he walks a number of batters, but he certainly hasn't while he pitched here at the Big A.
2-2 outside a full count. He had 2 bad games, 2 blow-up games. That's why that ERA's almost at 8. Gave up 9 runs against the Orioles on the 28th. And then gave up 7 runs against the Rays in his next start. That was on May the 4th. Payoff pitch, and Trout, this one foul and out of play. We'll reset, do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
He's certainly not from the Tom Seaver mold of pitching the drop and drive. He's all arm.
He is all arm.
His lower part of his body whatsoever. He's got a live arm, but a lot of action on it just with his arm. Does not use that lower body.
Tyson, a tall drink of 6', 230. That's what he's listed in the media guide. Second round pick in 2008 from Cal. Another 3-2, and that's a check swing foul. Meiser Sturis on deck. Albert Pujols after that. Just joining us, Josh Reddick with 2 outs. And the 2-strike count. Getting a home run off Dan Haren to make this a 1-0 game. Trout fouls one back towards us. Nope. Hit off the lighting. Right off the lighting, dude. How about that? Look at that.
That's a Bellata golf ball
that
right
is
now.
A Bellata golf ball.
It's got to go away.
Didn't have enough topspin to get down underneath that thing. Why'd you jump underneath the counter? This one's grounded to short. Pennington has it. Trout is the first down here. Let's take a look at the defense for the Athletics. Smith in left, Cowgill in center, Reddick is in right. The infield has Donaldson, Pennington, Weeks, and Barton from third to first, and Kurt Suzuki behind the plate.
We saw Josh Reddick's arm that first series here in the Big A. Plus arm, and very aggressive as far as throwing. 4 outfield assists for him so far this year. Not going to have many opportunities to be able to try to take that extra base against him because he's so aggressive coming in on the baseball.
Meiser Sturis steps in and takes that one outside. Sturis hitting 266. 4 runs batted in. Meiser got the start at shortstop last night. 1 for 5. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. The Angels 7th in batting average, 10th in home runs, 12th in on base percentage, 9th in slugging. They are 12th in runs scored. That one is a called strike, 2-1. Three balls and a strike with Pujols on deck. Donaldson playing in at third base. And Sturis looks at a strike, full count. The Angels, as far as their team ERA, jumping up with the 2 high-scoring games against Texas on Friday and Sunday at 4.02. That's 8th now in the American League as Sturis lifts this one Down the left field line, it's tailing into foul territory. Nobody can get there. Kind of an interesting approach by Seth Smith, the left fielder. I think perhaps he thought that ball was going to tail in the seats right from the get-go. But Bison gets another opportunity.
Not playing real deep out there in left field either. Thought he might have a chance.
Kind of gave up on it, thinking that maybe Pennington had the better shot at it. And a lot of times the shortstop does with that angle. Another 3-2. And Asturis pulls one into right field. There's a base hit. So Ross has fallen behind and gotten to a full count on the first two batters. Got Trout to ground down, and Asturis with a one-out knock. And here comes Albert.
Well, I think when you look at the approach you have against Tyson Ross, you got to try to bring him up in the strike zone. That fastball flattens out considerably when it's above the belt. Down in the strike zone, tremendous sink action.
Albert hitting just 196 as he looks at a fastball down and away. Did have a game, or a hit in yesterday's game, I should say, an RBI single in the seventh. Ended up going 1 for 5. Now with 12 runs batted in. Quick throw to first, and Asturis is back.
Not easy to steal against Ross. He's got a quick move to first base. Has 1 pickoff this year. Base stealer has been successful 50% of the time. Just 1 stolen base in 2 attempts.
Here's the 1-0. Off the plate, 2 balls and no strikes. Be interesting to see how the A's pitch Pujols with Suzuki behind the plate. He's had to deal with an issue on the back part of his catching hand. Has had issues with that sinking fastball down and in, giving him some troubles.
With a slider here.
Asturis takes off. The 2-0 is a strike. The throw down is not in time. Weeks. Nice effort on his part on the high throw, trying to catch and tag at the same time, but Asturis picks up the stolen base.
The 7th stolen base of the season for Meiser. Good scoring position now for Albert. He took the pitch. Picked the right pitch to go on, also a breaking ball. Slides in hard, but Weeks almost able to get that tag in before the foot hit the base. Very close play.
Yeah, a lot of guys in that situation there don't even bother with the tag, but why not? As long as you catch the baseball, make an effort at it. You just never know. Man in scoring position for Pujols. So 2 ball, 1 strike count with 1 out here in the first. Kendrys Morales on deck. Here's the pitch. Albert pops this one up behind the plate. Suzuki giving chase, and he'll run out of room. Two balls and 2 strikes. A's don't move around a whole lot defensively as far as overshifts are concerned, although Pennington's playing deep in the hole at shortstop. Donaldson deep at third. Little spin move. "20 pitches thrown by the youngster. 12 strikes and 8 balls. Two on its way. Albert bounces it foul off his foot.
When most times when a pitcher sees a hitter do that, he'll come right back inside with another sinking fastball. See if Albert will be ready for that fastball inside. See if he can get the good part of the bat on it.
Outfield straight around against Pujols at normal depth. Barton off the line at first. Suzuki setting up outside. Here's the 2-2. Albert chops it foul. And Albert talking with Tom Hallion behind the plate, so I wonder if maybe Albert asked for time, wasn't granted as Ross pitched, because immediately after foul tipping that ball, he turned around and said something to Hallion. Weeks trying to keep Asturias as close to the base as possible. Another 2-2, another breaking ball, and it's downstairs. Full count, so 3 consecutive full counts for Tyson Ross to start this game off.
See some pretty good patience and good approaches at the plate. First 3 batters for the Angels here. Again, laying off the breaking pitch off the plate, isn't throwing it for a strike yet, and the sinking fastball, trying to bring it up in the strike zone.
Three-two pitch. Albert yanks it down the line, backhanded by Donaldson across the diamond. There's out number 2, pardon me. Asturias remains at second base.
The fastball hit it hard, but right at Donaldson was able to backhand and look back. Meister at second and throw across to get Albert.
So 2 down to Asturias, still at second. And here's Kendrys Morales at DH. Kendrys ended up going 1 for 4 yesterday. Picked up a home run in the 9th inning off Joe Nathan. It's his 3rd of the year, hitting .313 overall. He'll look at his strike. 11 runs batted in for Morales, and they do overshift on Kendrys. But Pennington almost playing directly behind the bag at second base, and Weeks out in shallow right.
A lot of room to left center field, and both home runs that Kendrys has hit here at the Big A have been to left center field.
Now Donaldson takes about a step and a half to his left off the line. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Kendrys with 12 career home runs against Oakland pitching. The most he's had against any club yet in his career. So this is a club he's had a lot of success against.
One pitch fouled back, and now got Hallion, the home plate umpire, on the exposed hand.
Well, they got him straight back, right off the bat.
Oh, right on the forearm. Wow. Angels trainer Adam Nebel is out there checking out Hallion.
Right in the forearm, that foul ball straight back. Look at it, went off Suzuki and then right onto the arm. Tom Hallion, very, very good umpire also.
It looks like, at least, able to move the fingers in the hand, try to squeeze the hand. Well, if Tom sticks around, that discoloration by about the 5th or 6th inning on that forearm is going to be unbelievable.
You see him trying to get him to squeeze the hand to make sure he has feeling in his fingers. It's an important thing there because you hope this got him on the muscle part of the forearm and not any bone.
If you're just joining us, Tom Hallion, the home plate umpire, taking a foul ball off the left forearm. Tyson Ross, the starter for Oakland, has thrown 27 pitches here in the first inning. The Angels got a one-out base hit by Meiser-Sturis. He stole second base, but still standing there with 2 outs here. Morales, when we resume, will have a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
Tyson Ross doesn't look like he's really committed to throwing a whole lot of pitches to warm up, to keep warm, because of the fact that he threw so many so far in this inning. 3 full counts, averaged 8 pitches per batter, so the first 3 batters of the game.
Wasn't this the crew that was in, weren't they in Minnesota that first trip? Wasn't Alfonso Marquez, and we were,
yes,
somebody get hit there and we were joking, we ran into them Alfonso at the hotel?
Yes, it was him.
It was Alfonso, right?
Yes.
They're starting to bruise up already. So Hallion is going to stick it out. Kendrys Morales with a 1-ball, 2-strike count and 2 outs. Josh Reddick putting Oakland up with a 2-out home run in the first. The 1-2 pitch. Kendrys rolls it foul.
Boy, 28 pitches thrown, and he's a guy that kind of a swing type pitcher where he'll start some games, come out of the bullpen for him. Generally, Bob Melvin tries to keep him around that 100 to 110 pitch range. So he's wasted a lot of pitches here in the first inning. That's why it's important to capitalize against him.
Morales shoots one down the left field line with tailing foul. Another 1-2. Down in the dirt. Nice block by Suzuki. Asturis remains at second base. Evens the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Slider in the dirt. Suzuki did a nice job of shifting his body and coming up and looking to throw to second base. One thing we've seen out of Tyson Ross so far, he has not thrown that slider for a strike, so you can key on the fastball.
And now the 2-2 to Morales. This one's yanked over to first. Barton has it go off his body. He'll wave off Ross. The inning comes to an end. 1 complete, 1-0 Oakland. Starter for the Athletics through 31 pitches, but left the potential tying run in scoring position. Tom Hallion was tended to between innings, assuming that's just to help with the swelling.
Well, we want to make sure he's able to do his strikeout call as much as possible with Dan Haren on the hill. He's got one of the best in all of baseball.
Here in the second inning, Oakland will send up Smith, Donaldson, and Barton against Haren. Got 2 ground ball outs, 1 fly ball out, and gave up the home run to Reddick. Seth Smith getting the start in left field. A .244 average with 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in. Breaking pitch is in for a strike. Smith, the former Colorado Rocky. Throws over this one. Pujols to his right. Feeds Haren. There is the first out of the second inning. Fans groups of 25 or more can enjoy exciting Angels baseball for as low as $8 per seat. This year, when group tickets are purchased, each member will receive an Angels hat for a select series. To book your group outing today, call 888-796-HALO or log on to angels.com/groups. Josh Donaldson, the third baseman, is at the plate. The first one is just off the plate for ball 1. Donaldson 3 for 35 this year. That's an .086 average with a home run, or pardon me, with an RBI. That one's a little bit high. It's 2 balls and no strikes on the 26-year-old. That was acquired from the Cubs system a couple of years ago, as this one's lifted out toward left center field. Mike Trout is on it. 2 down.
And just enough threw his timing off to get that ball off the end of the bat. He hit it pretty well, but not square on the bat. Because of that slight hesitation that Dan Haren has in his delivery, and Donaldson was just out in front enough to get himself out.
Derek Barton, the first baseman, looks at a strike on the outside corner. Barton hitting .187 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. Fouls it off to the left. Coming off a 1 for 18 homestand. 5 doubles. Breaking pitch down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2. Down low.
He's trying another split finger fastball. He's doing a nice job today as compared to his last start out when he couldn't get out in front with that pitch, but the back issues, to be able to get out in front and be able to finish off that split finger fastball. Although in the dirt, it's still an effective pitch.
The full count. Kurt Suzuki's on deck. First 3-ball count for Haren. There's Kurt. And a payoff pitch. Outside, he walked him. So 2-out walk. Keeps getting alive for Suzuki, the catcher.
And Suzuki, good numbers against Dan Haren in his career. .438 at 6 for 17.
Teoscar moves in a little bit at third base. Just about even with the bag. Suzuki hitting just .217 this year. 9 runs batted in, has 7 doubles. He's seen his offensive numbers drop down each of the last couple of seasons. Looks at a strike to start this at-bat off. He's a guy that catches a lot of games. Hit .237 last year with 14 home runs. That's a strike on the outside corner with a fastball, and it's 0-2.
You wonder if that's the big reason why those offensive numbers have gone down for him. He catches so many games, so many innings. He's already caught 254 in the third innings behind the plate this year alone.
He took over the everyday duties in 08. At .279 that year with 7 home runs. The next year at .274 with 15 home runs and 88 runs batted in as he strikes out swinging on that splitter down and in. That's the first strikeout of the game for Harris. Get to the bottom of the second. Still Oakland is up 1-0. Walk of the ball game, but nobody scored in the top of the second. 1-0 Oakland as Mark Trumbo will lead things off here against Tyson Ross. It'll be Trumbo, Callaspo, and Wells against the right-hander.
That's important to see him have that nasty split finger fastball. Like we said, it's when his back feels good, that's when he's getting out in front with that pitch, and he finished off a batter with it. Good sign for him.
Mark looks at a strike. Trumbo with a little 4-game hitting streak. Last 7 games, though, a .417 average, 3 home runs, 6 runs batted in. A .321 mark overall. Getting to start in right field. In tight, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, those 2 home runs he hit in Texas were just gigantic. Both of them at 440 plus.
Outside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 pitch. This one shot to right field, a base hit on a breaking pitch. Leadoff man is on board. As Alberto Callaspo comes up, you see Mark getting to start in right field tonight in place of Torrey Hunter. And we learned before the game today that Torrey was placed on the restricted list, having to deal with personal matters back home in Texas. And because of that, it doesn't count against the 25-man roster. So the Angels made a move, brought up Ryan Langerhans from AAA Salt Lake City. And no one knows how long Torrey is going to need. The restricted list, there's no definitive time frame. It could be 1 day, it could be 3 weeks, who knows. But the Angels will use a number of combinations in the outfield. Mark getting to start there today. Peter Bourjos will certainly get some playing time.
That's what Mike Scioscia said before the game, that both Mark Trumbo and Peter Bourjos will get more significant playing time in the outfield now.
0-1 pitch to Callaspo. He lifts this one out toward left center field. Colin Cowgill is there to make the catch, and there is out number 1 as Trumbo remains at first. Vernon Wells, the batter. Vernon had a 2-hit game last night. Single and a solo home run. 2 for 4. Average of 233. The home run is 5th. 9 runs batted in. No balls in a strike. And there's that pitch on the inside part of the play. You saw how Kurt Suzuki caught that ball, and you could tell that hand is still bothering him.
Yeah, he took it right out of the catcher's mitten, shook his hand. You could see the ball moved, caught it awkwardly, and then he takes the glove off just to get feeling back in the hand. He doesn't come out of any game. He's going to play through it.
Vernon hits one sharply to short. This could be a double play, and it is. It ends the inning. We've played 2, and it's 1-0 Oakland. The Josh Reddick home run that occurred in the first inning with 2 outs. Oakland sending up 9-1 and 2 against Dan Haren, Cowgill, Weeks, and Pennington. This one grounded toward short. Ibar to his left, has it go in and out of his glove, and Cowgill will reach. See how they ruled that one, but Bear comes up with it. It should have been an out.
It hit well, but Eric Ibar was already looking up to be able to spin around and throw the first base. Cowgill runs very well. Allowed that baseball to play him and got through. Now you got to worry about a man on first base with good speed.
Cowgill gets credit for an infield base hit. Here's Jemile Weeks, the second baseman, as Haren steps off. Weeks grounded out to Ibar in the first. 0 for 1. Shows bunt, takes down low. Oakland not afraid to sacrifice. They have 5 sacrifice bunts this year. Halos with 6. Shows bunt, takes down low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Weeks 2 for 17 now against the Angels this year, but he tore up the Halos last year. A .385 batting average against the Angels.
You think right now Bob Mel would take off the bunt. Good hitters count for Weeks.
Cowgill with pretty good speed over at first base. Last year, AAA had 30 stolen bases. Ended up playing in 36 games with the Arizona Diamondbacks last year, had 4. This one's bounced foul, just wide of the bag at first. It's 2-1. As we pointed out, first in the American League. That's where the A's are as far as stolen bases are concerned, with 34. Cowgill now playing in his 7th game. He's yet to record a stolen base this season. There's a 2-1. Now back to the sacrifice. Weeks bunts it foul. 2-2. Exciting player to watch. Jemile Weeks, former first-round pick out of the University of Miami.
Great speed, a lot of range at second base.
Cowgill takes off. The 2-2 is a swing and a miss. The throw down to second. It's on the shortstop side, and the bat nailed Bobby Wilson. So they might put Cowgill back to first base, and that's what they're doing. Jemile Weeks, after the swing, made contact with Bobby Wilson on the throw. Remember last week in Minneapolis, Bobby got the barrel of the bat on the face mask.
Still a little woozy from that, too. Well, that got him all the way through before he even get a chance to even throw the baseball. In other words, if he's throwing through at that point, they may even call him out, the base runner.
So Cowgill back at first. Bob Melvin had the conversation with Tom Hallion, apparently satisfied with the explanation. 1 out. Here's Cliff Pennington, the shortstop. One ball, no strikes. Pennington grounded out to Pujols in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Guy with pretty decent speed. Tough guy to double up. He's not grounded into a double play this year, and that is over the course of 129 at-bats. Infield playing in a little bit. Cowgill takes off. The pitch is outside to throw down from Wilson. It's a little bit high, and Cowgill has his first American League stolen base.
Only 35th stolen base in the year for Oakland. Well, a good transfer, but just a high enough throw to allow Cowgill to get his hand in to be safe at second base.
You wonder how much of an effect that that bat making contact with Wilson had on Bobby's hand. The throw didn't seem to have a whole lot on it.
Well, it takes a while for you to get that sting off the fingers. And that bat, a full swing on the backswing by Weeks.
Three balls and no strikes. Josh Reddick on deck, and there's a strike. 3-1. Man in scoring position for Oakland. Cowgill with the infield base hit and then stolen base. 3-1 pitch. Outside he walked him. Second walk issued by Herod. Angel fans, be sure to log on to FoxSportsWest.com. Check out the features on how the West was won. Talking about the American League West. The battle for L.A. Clippers and the Lakers both advancing. Lakers playing tonight in Oklahoma City. And the Kings playoff run. The conference finals for the second time in franchise history. That and much more on FoxSportsWest.com. Here's Josh Reddick, who homered his first time up. Swings first pitch here and bounces it foul. It's no balls and a strike. A home run, extending his hitting streak to 7 games. His 9th home run of the season. Both teams with 2 hits. The home run and the infield single for the Athletics. And the Angels with 2 singles. Stewart with a 1-out knock in the first. Trumbo with a leadoff single in the second.
Reddick was one of those hitters from the left side that if you get him out in front, you get him to roll over ground ball to second.
Bounces this one back to Heron. Fires to shortstop Ibar. We are the first in-time inning-ending double play. We head to the bottom of the third, and Oakland still leading this one. America, as we bring you 8 straight weeks of baseball's best, and it starts with an interleague matchup between regional rivals as the Red Sox take on the Phillies, or the Orioles battle the Nationals. Baseball Night in America, presented by Chevrolet, begins Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. Check local listings for the game in your area.
A couple surprise teams there with Baltimore and the Washington Nationals.
Your Phillies, you haven't been pumping up your Phillies this year.
I said that was a good matchup between the Orioles and the Nationals.
Eric Ibar to lead things off. What's wrong with your Phillies?
Man, he can't score a run.
Eric looks at a strike. Phillies look like you did, chasing that foul ball in the first inning that came into our booth. Duck it.
I always try to avoid the contact with the baseball if I can.
And so are the Phillies.
Exactly right.
0-1 pitch. That's down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Eric had the night off last night in Texas, hitting just .200. 3 doubles, a triple, 6 runs batted in. Just has not been able to get it going. 205 average from the left side, 189 from the right. As he looks at a strike, and it's 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Ibar bounces this one foul.
That's one thing you don't want to see out of Eric Ibar when he's swinging, to be able to see his numbers of his back towards the pitcher. It means he's pulling off the baseball, rolling off that breaking pitch down and in. He wants to stay back, keep the hands back longer, and hit it to left center field.
Breaking pitch hooked down to the right field line and into the corner. This one is hooking foul. This one bounced right back to the mound. And there is out number 1. Bobby Wilson comes to the plate. We'll take a look at our Kia standings. And today we are focusing in on the American League West. 7.5 game deficit for the Angels.
Bruce Chen did a great job pitching against the Rangers tonight. A lot of off-speed pitches, which is important If you can establish your off-speed pitch against those Rangers hitters, just show your fastball. You can get them out with off-speed stuff. They crush fastballs.
Bobby Wilson looks at a breaking pitch for a strike, and all of a sudden Tyson Ross, who had multiple 3-2 counts in the first inning, starting to settle down a little bit. He threw 31 pitches in that first inning. Bobby with a 4-game hitting streak, hitting .265, still looking for that first extra base hit. Drops a bunt right back to Tyson Ross. 2 down. Not a bad idea with Donaldson playing deep at third, but Bobby is unable to get the ball down the line.
Well, if he gets anywhere near down the third base line, he's going to get a base hit. But right back to Tyson Ross. You can't even see Donaldson at that point. He's not going to be able to make that play if he gets it down the third base line. But Tyson Ross does a nice job of fielding his position.
Mike Trout with a 1-ball, no strike count. Mike started off the game, taking Ross to a 3-2 count before grounding out to short. This one's lifted in the air. Shallow right field. Toward the foul line goes Jemile Weeks, the second baseman. Derek Barton is there. I think it's Barton that makes the catch, and they collide. And he hangs on to the baseball, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Angels go down in order. 3 complete. It's 1-0 Oakland.
But Barton never took his eye off the baseball. Much easier play for the second baseman, but held on.
Josh Reddick home run in the first inning. And the scoring in this game. Gomes, Smith, and Donaldson here in the fourth inning against Herod. Dan with 2 strikeouts and 2 walks as Gomes looks at a strike. Johnny Gomes, the DH tonight. And a fly ball to left field to end the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Lays off that pitch and it evens the count. Gomes has been around a little bit. 31-year-old. Last year split time with Cincinnati and Washington. Just off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, you can see the approach against him, trying to pitch away. He's a guy that likes to fastball or break a pitch on the inner half of the plate. He's a guy that's going to try to pull a lot.
Has some pop in that bat. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Gomes, an 18th round pick of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays back then in 2001. Got to the big leagues for the first time in 2003, but a couple of seasons there where there was some power and even hit for some average. This one's bounced foul. As a matter of fact, go back to 05. Just 101 games at 282, 21 home runs and 54 runs batted in. Batting average started to dipped down, but the power numbers are still there. And I tell you what, for a guy who will strike out, on base percentage is there a little bit as he strikes out here. And there's the third strikeout, the first out. As a matter of fact, you start looking around. I mean, Cincinnati last year, 336 on base percentage, even though he hit 211. Still drew 38 walks, struck out 74 times. He's not, is he an everyday guy?
I think he's a perfect guy to hit against left-handed pitching, come off the bench for you.
Yeah.
3-4 times a week. I'm sure he wants to play every day, but he's got a good power swing. Again, he chased that high split finger fastball, but he's a guy that you make a mistake anywhere near inside, he's got a chance of crushing the ball.
And getting some playing time with Cespedes on the DL. A game or two. I kind of like the way he approaches the game a little bit. Smith lines one toward the alley in left center field. And that is going to be stopped by Wells on one hop. Smith is trying to go to second base. The relay is not in time. A double for Seth Smith.
Vernon did a nice job of cutting off this baseball hit well by Seth Smith. Boy, but he's determined right out of the batter's box. Seth Smith was thinking double right away. It's that foot in before the tag is applied. Very difficult to have a relay play and throw somebody out at second base.
Donaldson takes the breaking pitch down and away. The double for Smith, his third. As you just pointed out, difficult play for second base because you got the back to the base runner. You have no idea where he is at. As Donaldson tried to check his swing, couldn't. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Down in the dirt, and that gets by Wilson. Bobby can't find it. Smith will stop at third base. A wild pitch.
With that wild pitch, may force infield in now for the Angels. Third wild pitch of the year for Dan Haren. Overthrew that split finger fastball in the dirt. Bobby had a tough time finding where that is. His pitcher, you just try to tell him either towards a bench, third base side, first base side, because it's very difficult to find where the baseball goes once it goes off you as a catcher.
Donaldson swinging through that one, evens a count at 2-2. The A's third baseman is 0 for 1, hit a fly ball to center field in the second.
Although you pitch against your defense with the infield in, a high fastball might be an effective pitch going up the ladder against them.
2-2, and this one's lined out toward right field. Trumbo's coming on, makes the catch. Tagging is Smith, and he will score. It is 2-0. Athletics. Trumbo did everything in his power just to make that catch. It looked like he may have even lost the baseball in the lights.
That's the thing is, I think he didn't see the ball real well because that's one of those baseballs that hits low enough. It's right in that bank of lights. Didn't get himself in the perfect throwing position there because he had a difficult time seeing the ball. Good thing he caught it.
So the wild pitch comes back to haunt Dan Haren. 2-0 Oakland, 2 outs, nobody on. Derek Barton at the plate, and the first one is up and away. Second RBI of the season for Donaldson. Derek Barton drew a walk in the second inning. No official at bat for him. 2 balls and no strikes. Oakland with 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 2 men left on base. Halos, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on. Strike on the outside corner, 2 balls and a strike. First 3 innings, the Angels offense has once sent more than 3 guys to the plate, and that was in the first inning when they sent 4. At 3 in the second, courtesy of the double play ball by Wells, and then a 1-2-3 third inning as Barton fouls it back, and it's 2-2. Mentioned Tom Halling calling the balls and strikes tonight. He's the veteran of this staff. Alfonso Marquez is over at first base. Corey Blazer is at second base, and Chad Fairchild He's over at first. 2-2. This one lifted foul and out of play. .60 pitches thrown by Herron. 38 strikes.
Talk about a durable, successful pitcher. You're talking Dan Herron. 101 career victories, or 101 since '05. You look at the starts, the innings, strikeouts. He's a guy that's going to be on the mound and never wants to come out of a game, no matter how many pitches he throws.
Full count now. The payoff pitch, and he walked it. Second walk. Bard's a guy that you want to make swing the bat. That's the third walk issued by Herron.
Second to Barton.
So Kurt Suzuki will step to the plate. Strikeout victim in his second, so he's 0 for 1. Suzuki shoots it foul and out of play.
What you're seeing sometimes at Dan Herron tonight is this reluctance to necessarily throw a fastball middle of the plate. If there's a situation where Barton, he wasn't going to throw the middle of the plate, he wasn't going to challenge because you haven't scored him a lot of runs this year. You're more apt to be more fine with your pitches.
Line to center. It's a 2-out base hit. Barton will stop at second. Bobby Wilson out to the mound to talk things over with Herron.
Manageable pitch count here for Dan Herron in 4 innings, 64 pitches. Certainly been in the strike zone, 40 strikes. Again, getting back to that, more apt to try to hit a corner. When you're on a roll, you're getting a lot of run support early in the game. You're more apt to challenge guys middle part of the plate and take your chances.
Colin Cowgill looks at a breaking pitch for a strike. He had an infield base hit in the 3rd inning. Now 2 for 15 this year on the opening day roster and was sent out. Recalled on Friday. 0-1 pitch. Down in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cowgill was once drafted by the Oakland A's in the 29th round in 2007. Did not sign and became a 5th round pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks the following year. Came over to Oakland in the Cahill deal. This one over to second base and Sturz has it. Fires on the first. The inning comes to an end. But Oakland gets a run. They leave a couple of men on. We head to the bottom of the 4th. 2-0 A's.
Crazy you can taste. And by Southern California Toyota. Check out the full line of fuel-efficient vehicles at your Southern California Toyota dealer.
2-0 Oakland. Start of a two-game set against the A's. Tyson Ross is just one over the minimum as we start this bottom of the fourth. He's got a 2-0 lead. He's allowed just 2 hits, 2 singles. Sturris in the first and Trumbo in the second. It'll be Sturris, Pujols, and Morales here in the fourth inning for the Angels.
And coming in this game, Tyson Ross allowed 36 hits, 11 walks in 25 2/3 innings pitched. You have to work the count. They did a pretty good job the first inning against him. 31 pitches thrown, but since then has been around the strike zone and a lot of swinging and pitches out of the zone.
Meiser Sturris takes the off-speed pitch a little bit high. Meiser, as we pointed out, had a base hit, stole second base, but was stranded in scoring position. One ball, one strike. Donaldson playing in on the grass at third. It's down and in, 2-1 now. Mentioned that Ross threw 31 pitches in the first inning. He's thrown 21 pitches to the last 2 innings plus 1 batter. 2-1. 3 balls and a strike. Meiser thought perhaps he would get the call there. Instead it goes in Ross's favor, so it's a full count. And here comes the 3-2. Sturris yanks it over to Barton, the 2-hopper. He'll wave off the pitcher. And there's the first out of the fourth. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question. Tonight we ask which 3 pitchers in tonight's game have made postseason appearances in both leagues. Here's Albert Pujols with 1 out, nobody on. Albert grounded out sharply to third his first time up. 1 ball, no strikes. Three infielders on the left side now with no base runners. This one's a broken bat liner to short, 2 down. So 2 quick outs for Ross, and that'll bring up Kendrys Morales. Kendrys grounded out to Derek Barton in the first inning. He's 0 for 1, looks at a strike. I was looking at Tyson Ross's numbers against the Angels overall. This is the 6th game that he has pitched in his career against the Angels. Now 24 1/3 innings, including the first 2 outs here in the 4th inning. He's allowed just 6 runs overall. No runs tonight and just the 2 hits.
He's certainly been around the strike zone. Got a lot of ground ball outs.
One ball, 2 strikes on Morales. Outside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, ideally, you want Kendrys Morales to get a pitch to be able to drive an extra base hit. You can get something out over the plate and drive it to left center field.
Kendricks now 3 for 7 in his career against Ross with a home run. He's got a piece of that one, and that one got a piece of Hallion.
And Kendricks was up last time
Yes.
the ball hit him. He's saying, Kendricks, you can hit that ball the other way if you can.
I mean, if you're Kendricks Morales, you better be apologizing profusely.
That's 2 times.
Just in case there's anything close to the strike zone. This one getting him on the left neck area.
You see he was out in front, tried to keep his hands back long enough in the strike zone, just fouled it off barely.
2-2 on its way. A swing and a miss. Morales goes down, and the Angels have gone down in order for the second consecutive inning. But still trail it 2-0. Trivia question: which 3 pitchers in tonight's game have made postseason appearances in both leagues? Ryan Fuentes, Dan Haren, and Jason Isringhausen. What do all 3 of those guys have in common besides that trivia question? Absolutely nothing.
Let's go say they're all pitchers.
Yep. Fuentes now the new closer for the Oakland A's. Grant Balfour has been removed from that role. Sounded off about it too. He's a little chippy.
He's definitely very competitive.
Oh, he's a high-intensity individual. Got off to a good start, but has given up some runs of late. So Fuentes gets the call. Here in the 5th inning, Jamal Weeks with Pennington and Josh Reddick as that pitch hits Jamal Weeks in the gluteus maximus. And there's the first base runner of the 5th. Slow little breaking pitch. It just kept bearing in on Weeks.
He wasn't going to make any effort to get out of the way of that pitch either. First batter that Dan Haren has hit this year. Now you've put a guy with tremendous speed on with 9 stolen bases and 11 attempts. Have to step off. Going to have to do a quick pitch, whatever you can to give Bobby Wilson a chance to throw him out because he's going to be stealing early in this count.
9 of 11 in the stolen base category. Big lead already and leaning. Time was called at the home plate area. Pennington tired of waiting. Pennington, the shortstop, has grounded the first and has drawn a walk. He's 0 for 1.
One thing about Dan Haren, his times are not real quick to the plate. He does a nice job of holding the baseball, then mixing in a quick pitch. Does whatever it takes to be able to throw off the timing of a would-be base stealer.
Callaspo playing it over at third base. Pennington takes the off-speed pitch down and away. Haren came into this game having walked 9 guys in 43 innings this year. He's walked 3 today. None of the 3 walks have come across the score. That wild pitch hurting him in the 4th inning. Another throw to first, and Weeks is back. Seth Smith with a double with 1 out of the 4th inning. Went to 3rd on the wild pitch by Herron, then scored the sac fly by Josh Donaldson. Long pause for Herron. Do you have a signature move whatsoever trying to keep base runners at bay?
What I would try to do is the same thing. Hold the baseball, throw over a couple times, and then this is when you think you have their timing right. You need to be real quick to the plate. Slide step is an important attribute as far as a pitcher to be able to stop a running game. But if you can hold the baseball, you have a real good chance. Not an easy thing to do, too, because you're geared up as a pitcher to throw the baseball, so you really have to talk to yourself to tell you to hold the baseball long enough to throw off the timing of a base stealer, especially a good one.
Throw over. Weeks is back. Was it a good enough idea to call it a signature move? I guess not. Upstairs, 3 balls and no strikes. Snap throw to first. Weeks gives back in there. Little double clutch by Bobby Wilson. Difficult too for a catcher having to deal at that point with a pitch away from a left-handed batter and then having to deal with a batter standing down the line there.
Yeah, a lot of times when one of the Angel catchers will throw back to first base, it's a fastball inside. It's a design play, but you have to throw over the batter and still try to get it in there to out the Pujols.
3-1, no obligation whatsoever on the hitter to move there. Besides that, Bennington had no idea. He was just looking down to see what was going on with Weeks.
Well, you almost have to assume something's going to be happening here as far as Weeks going. A 3-1 count.
Weeks takes off. 3-1 is over the head of Meister Sturz and into right field. Weeks actually stopped. Trumbo's throw is going to 3rd, and it's not in time. He gets away from Carrasco. Moving to 2nd is Pennington. So a hit by pitch and now a single puts runners at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out and Reddick coming up.
Let's take a look at our AT&T U-verse replay. Josh Reddick, first inning, gets a pitch up in the strike zone, hits it out, his 9th home run of the season. He's been red hot of late, 7th home run since April 25th. Good power to that part of the field.
Mike Butcher's coming out now. Halos start to talk things over on the mound with everybody. Reddick had that home run and then grounded into a double play to 3rd.
And most times in this scenario, when you're on the mound 1st and 3rd with no outs, you just try to limit the damage. But when you're struggling to score some runs, you can't think in those terms. You got to try to get a pop up first and then try to get a double play, or a strikeout first and then a double play. You want to make sure that you can prevent this run if you can.
One ball, no strikes. Infield back. Although Callaspo and Pujols at 3rd and 1st playing in a little bit. Two balls and no strikes. Even the ratio of strikes to balls not Dan Herron-like tonight. 45 strikes, 31 balls. Now they're going to put Reddick on to load the bases for Johnny Gomes. This one goes an intentional walk with the 4th given up by Herron tonight. Gomes is 0 for 2. Fly ball to left and a strikeout. Definitely a potential double play candidate. Does not run that well. Weeks at third, Pennington at second, and Reddick over at first. Good speed on the bases for the A's. Nobody out here to fifth. 1 ball, no strikes.
Tried a split finger fastball first pitch. When most hitters are gearing up for that first pitch fastball.
Ground ball to third. Callaspo's going to come home. The throw is low. Wilson digs it out and they get the force out. So instead of a double play, the 5-2-3 double play, because of the low throw by Alberto, they only get 1. Base is still loaded.
Because his baseball's hit pretty well. A real good chance of getting a 5-2-3 double play. But Bobby wants to make sure he not only fields that ball, but able to keep his foot on the base for the force out at home.
Now you got to throw that ball at the chest area. You got to give your catcher an opportunity.
Fortunately, it didn't hit the bat.
Yeah, to turn a double play. Not a good throw whatsoever, even though they get the lead runner. Callaspo still playing in. And here is Seth Smith. Doubled his last time up and scored. Breaking pitch high. The double for Smith, who got to start in left field tonight, his third of the year. Came in batting .244. Wells and Trout fairly shallow and left and center respectively. Trumbo a little bit deeper and right. 1-0 pitch. Check swing roller. That is just foul. Almost an excuse me extra base hit that would have brought home a couple of runs.
Well, you had him out in front, but boy, that's one of those things where you're on the mound, you're at the mercy and hoping that ball goes foul. Well, you're talking about as close as you can get. It really could change the course of this game. Dan Haren still has that ability to work down in the strike zone, still can get a double play ball.
Seth Smith lines one over the head of the Pujols and into right field. 2 runs will come in as a throw comes into Pujols, and it's 4-0 A's. See if Dan Haren stays in the game or if Mike Scioscia is going to go to the bullpen. You got a right-handed batter, Donaldson, coming up. Smith picks up his second hit. And his 10th and 11th runs batted in.
We pitch up at Seth Smith, who's had a number of at-bats in his career now, 2 doubles today. 32 career bats against Dan Haren with some decent numbers against him.
Donaldson a swing and a miss. And you go back to that ground ball to Callaspo, you get a double play. Kind of just changes the complexion a little bit.
What it does is, as a pitcher, because then you'd have 2 outs, it changes the way you go after a hitter. And you don't have to think in terms, I need a strikeout. I can throw a fastball instead of split finger fastballs.
Well, not only that, with Smith coming up, if you erase the base runner at first, you don't necessarily have to throw Smith, who has decent numbers against Haren, a strike. You have a base to play with, and then you take your chances with Donaldson, and still no runs have come across, and you've got 2 outs.
All those things come into play when you're just not able to make the play to prevent a huge inning going against you.
That one yanked foul. And still an 0-2 count on Donaldson, who hit a fly ball to center in the second and a sac fly to right in the fourth. 6 hits tonight for the Athletics. This inning started with a hit by pitch to Jemile Weeks, the leadoff man. One ball, 2 strikes. Derek Barton, the left-hand hitting first baseman, was walked twice. He's on deck. Takahashi's ready to go in the bullpen.
Mike Scioscia showing the confidence of Dan Haren to see if he can get a strikeout here to prevent another run.
1-2 lifted foul and out of play on the first base side. Go back to our Hyundai key to the game.
Well, I mean, Dan Heron's a guy that's going to give you everything he has. He might not necessarily have his best command of his fastball, but he's going to attack. He's going to be in that position to try to get a strikeout here. He's been rock steady. He showed his stats throughout his career as far as innings, starts, wins, strikeouts. He's been that good.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, he needs a strikeout here bad.
Full count.
We're looking at over the plate, and then he gets a fastball, runs up and in. It's a pretty good job of getting out of the way of that fastball because you know he's looking away, whether it's a split finger fastball or a slider away.
Three-two, grounded to third. Callaspo has Gomes in a rundown. Gets rid of it. Gomes is tagged out. 2 outs. Smith advancing to third. Donaldson reaching on the fielder's choice.
Well, nice job of running that fastball back in after the fastball knocked him down, up and in. It's played by Callaspo, getting rid of that baseball quickly. Be able to prevent that long rundown to be able to allow Donaldson even to get into second base. Nice play by Callaspo.
Here's Barton. 2 walks for him tonight. Runners at first and third. First one is up and away. Seth Smith is the runner at third base. Josh Donaldson over at first. 2 runs in for Oakland here in the 5th, leading it 4-0. Evens a count at a ball and a strike. Tyson Ross hanging out in the A's dugout on that first base side. He's retired the last 8 Angel hitters. 1 strikeout, no walks, and 2 singles allowed. Long look in for Heron. 93 pitches thrown. Here's the 1-1. 1-2. All of the other action in the American League. All finals. The West Coast game ongoing as Barton fouls this one off the left. The count remains at 1-2. Texas losing the opener of their 2-game set against Kansas City, 3-1. The Angels with an opportunity to pick up a game, but the offense needs to figure out Tyson Ross first. And now in the hole, at least 4-0 before they come back up in the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Trumbo, Callaspo, and Wells to face Ross once this inning comes to an end. Or half inning, I should say. The 1-2. Barton looked like he went around. He did. The inning comes to an end. 2 runs in for Oakland. We head to the bottom of the 5th. It is 4-0 A's. Cruise Echo offers the best highway fuel economy of any gas engine in America. With an EPA estimated 42 miles per gallon highway, you can continue your journey with fewer stops and fewer dollars. The Chevy Cruise, live life uninterrupted. Mark Trumbo to lead things off for the Angels here in the fifth. He has one of the two hits the Halos have picked up tonight, two singles. Marks came as the leadoff man in the second. It was a base hit to right field. Breaking pitch on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Tyson Ross with one strikeout and no walks. Trumbo with that base hit in the second, extending his hitting streak to 5 games. The count is now even at 1 ball, 1 strike. I mentioned in the top of the fifth inning, 8 consecutive batters retired. Last guy to reach was Trumbo in that second inning. Here's the 1-1. A strike on the outside corner, 1-2.
Well, Suzuki doing a nice job of framing that baseball. Might have been a little bit off the plate, but brought it back in and got the corner.
The 1-2. Chopper off the glove, but right to Weeks. 1 out. There goes the 1-4-3 put out. So Teoscar will step to the plate. Alberto's 0 for 1, a fly ball to center field in the second inning. Donaldson playing it over at third. Breaking pitch is down and in. The Angels, when they've gone into these funks in a game where a pitcher starts to just kind of cruise and do things at will against this Angels offense, become a very station-to-station oriented ball club.
Well, when the Angels are at their best, they're not. They're aggressive going first to third, hitting and running, bunting, stealing bases.
Alberto yanks one into right field. There's a base hit. They did it in the first inning with Asturias picking up the base hit. Then he stole second, but Pujols grounded out to third. Morales grounded out to first. The Angels left the man in scoring position, the only guy that they've had in scoring position tonight. Here's Vernon Wells. Ground ball to third. Knocked down by Donaldson. Goes across the diamond and Wells reaches. It's an error on Donaldson. Oh, they're calling a base hit. Pardon me. Infield base hit for Vernon. Swinging at that first pitch. So 2 on and 1 out.
I've seen a lot of infielders sliding across for be able to pick that low choppers in the infield around baseball this year. Very difficult to be able to make that move and get up and throw across the diamond.
Eric Ibar bounced one back to the mound his first time up. Rolls over this one to first. Barton feeds the shortstop Pennington. 2 outs. But all of a sudden, I mean, you start from a guy that is struggling to throw strikes early on in this game. And granted, Tyson Ross has certainly turned things around. I mean, the patience is just goes completely away. 2 hitters, 2 pitches thrown. All of a sudden, you got runners at first and third, but 2 outs.
Coming into the game, an ERA well over 7, so that means your confidence level is not there. But if you're chasing pitches out of the strike zone, you get quick outs. All of a sudden, that confidence grows. And all of a sudden you feel more confident to throw that sinker in the strike zone down and get easy ground ball outs.
I mean, if you're looking for 1 pitch in 1 zone, that's a different story. As Ibar takes off, Wilson Stakes a little bit high, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. But to swing at a pitcher's pitch, to try to create something, I mean, all you're doing is magnifying the issue. Callaspo standing at third, Ibar at second now. Bobby with a 1 ball, no strike count. He tried to bunt his way on, but bunted it right back to the mound in the third inning, so 0 for 1.
Big opportunity, though, to cut the lead in half with one swing of the bat, a base hit from Bobby Wilson. All of a sudden, it'll be a 4-2 game.
Popped up behind the plate. Suzuki comes running toward the warning track, makes a catch. The Angels leave 2 men on base. Through 5, Oakland leads at 4-0. On the mound, he'll be facing 8-9-1 Suzuki, Cowgill, and Weeks. Looks like Hisanori Takahashi is up and loosening along with Herron. Dan, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, 1 intentional walk. Oakland's picked up a run on the home run by Rennick in the first inning. Got a run in the 4th, sac fly by Donaldson. And then 2 runs in the 5th. 2 RBI double by Seth Smith, who has a couple of doubles against Herron tonight. Kurt Suzuki 1 for 2. A strikeout victim in the second, a single to center in the 4th. Bouncing to the left side. Callaspo picks it to his left. 1 out.
Tough little in-between hop for Callaspo and made a nice play on that one. Throw out Suzuki. More than likely, if a base runner, Dan Herron can have a clean inning here, he'll be able to finish this off and still be in position if the offense can come through for him. He'll get a win, but the reality is any base runners, he could be in trouble as far as staying in the game.
Colin Cowgill, the center fielder. Looks at a strike. Infield base hit and a stolen base in the 3rd. A ground ball to Meister Sturris at second base. 1 for 2. Ball on a strike. Product of the University of Kentucky. Strike on the outside corner, 1 and 2.
Now the century mark there, that last one. 60 strikes.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Cowgill, 2 down. Nothing has been easy for Herron tonight. Still looking for that first 1-2-3 inning.
Way upstairs, gets the fastball by him. I think sometimes you look at Dan Herron, you would like to see him throw and use that fastball more often because he can spot the fastball. It's two-seam fastball both in and out.
Weeks tonight is 0 for 2, but reached on the hit by pitch in the 5th. Eventually erased on a fielder's choice. This one's fouled off, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. 4 runs, 6 hits, 6 left on for Oakland. No runs, 4 hits, 3 left on for the Angels. The 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Oakland again tomorrow night, then the Chicago White Sox for 2 Wednesday and Thursday. Weeks bounces it foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Game tomorrow. It's a 4 o'clock start here at the Big A. Back to 7:05 on Wednesday, then a 12:35 start Thursday afternoon against the White Sox before heading out on the road for a 10-game stretch. 2-2 is lifted in the air out to shallow right. Izturis going out. Trumbo coming in. Izturis almost has that ball pop out of his glove. It's a 1-2-3 inning. We had the bottom of the 6th inning, 4-0 Oakland. Oakland. Trout, Izturis, and Pujols here in the 6th against Tyson Ross. This is that last out. Meiser could have asked for some sprinkles on that snow cone.
Yeah, but a good thing he had the 2 hands there. Old school. Mark Trumbo was playing very deep. Meiser had to go back on that one and held on to it because he did it the proper way. 2 hands to catch a pop-up.
Trout looking to bunt his way on, takes that pitch a little bit high. Mike Trout is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a pop-up. Takes a breaking pitch for a strike. Halos held scoreless by Tyson Ross through 5 innings tonight. 10th time this year the Angels have been held scoreless through the first 5 innings of a game. 2 balls and a strike. This is game number 36.
But what that does, it puts a lot of pressure on your starting staff. It doesn't allow you to challenge in the strike zone as much early in the game because then you're behind in the count. I mean, behind in the game, and it takes away some situational type hitting for Mike Scioscia too, as far as hitting run and stealing bases.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Trout sharply towards short. Pennington's got it, spins around and throws Trout out by a step.
There's only a few shortstops in the American League to make that play against Mike Trout. And Pennington has a above average arm. Same thing with Eric Ibar, 2 of the strongest arms in the game, but that shortstop position. While going up the middle, makes the play, spins around, and a strong throw to first base.
It's almost as if he had to double check to make sure that ball stayed in the glove.
Boy, he's got a strong arm.
Nice throw, nice play by Pennington. 1 out. Lesteris looks at a strike. Meiser 1 for 2, had a base hit and a stolen base in the first, a ground out to Barton in the fourth. Hisanori Takahashi continuing to throw in the bullpen. So it looks like Dan Herron is done after 6 innings tonight. The 1-1 inside, 2 balls and a strike. Six innings, 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, 4 walks. 1 was intentional. 4 runs. 2-1 pitch. Sturridge lines with a center field. There's a base hit. His second knock of the game. 5th hit of the night for the Angels.
With Tyson Ross, he's the guy that gives up a lot of base runners, so you can get right back in the game in a hurry if you have some good swings. But it won't be long if he gives up another base hit for Bob Melvin to get that bullpen going for Oakland.
Albert's 0 for 2 with a ground ball to third, a line out to shortstop. Quick throw to first, and Lesteris back in. Solo base hit Lesteris had his 7th of the year. Breaking pitch is in for a strike. Going back to the breaking pitch, and it's an 0-2 count.
And they're going to keep throwing Albert the breaking ball. Tyson Ross will, because he's pulling off that pitch. When Albert centers the ball well and hits the ball to right center field, you've taken away that opportunity to throw a slider if you're Ross. But if you pull off that baseball, very difficult to make good contact with that pitch.
There's the 0-2 in the dirt.
Alberts keeps telling him to try to get the timing down, trying to keep that front side in. Don't drift forward. Don't open up that front hip. He's going to get another slider or 2 in this at bat.
One-two pitch. Swing. And a miss. Poole saying he foul tipped it. Tom Helling says he did not. 2 down.
Came back with a 2-seam fastball. Good sink action on it. Suzuki was able to catch that baseball before it hit the dirt anyhow.
So Lesteris still standing at first base. 2 outs now. Here's Morales, who's 0 for 2. The ground ball to first and a strikeout. Down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. The strikeout of Pujols, the second for Tyson Ross tonight. No walks. He's gone 5 2/3. His longest outing of the year, 6 2/3. Second start of the year. That was against Cleveland up at the Coliseum. In that game, he walked 5 and struck out 4. And again, against the Angels, he feels awfully comfortable. 3 strikeouts, no walks in his first start in 6 innings. 2 balls and no strikes. Trumbo on deck.
Well, you have to take a pitch here if you're Morales. You need base runners. Give Mark Trumbo an opportunity. One swing of the bat, all of a sudden it's a 4-3 game.
He did take 3-1 now. And a 3-1. Inside, he walked him. So Trumbo will bat with 2 outs and 2 on. First walk issued by the young right-hander. Jordan Norberto is up and loosening, the left-hander.
Kurt Young, the pitching coach, was going to try to just tell Tyson Ross is to try to stay down in the strike zone. You got good movement. When you make mistakes, it's when you try to overthrow that fastball.
.92 pitches for Tyson Ross. Remember, 331 in the first inning, facing 4 batters. 3 full counts, but did not allow a run. Trumbo's 1 for 2, a base hit in the second. A sharp ground out leading off to 5th. He's got Esteury standing at second base and Morales at first. Halos tonight 0 for 4 with men in scoring position. Backup breaking pitch and misses in. Calgill in center field, very deep against Trumbo. Same goes for Smith in left. Reddick with a strong arm. Normal depth in right field. Now Suzuki wants to go out and talk things over. Jason Isringhausen is now joined in the playing catch in the bullpen. Hisanori Takahashi. Isringhausen pitched last night with 1 inning. One ball, no strikes on Trumbo with 2 outs. Popped him up. Derek Barton, the first baseman, comes charging in. The inning comes to an end. The Angels leave 2 off. We've played 6, still 4-0 Oakland.
Angels baseball is brought to you by the new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit AT&T.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. By CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. And by Hawaiian Gardens Casino. Get your game on.
Top of the 7th inning, it is 4-0 Oakland. Ted Young and Tyson Ross talking things over. The Angels have had a couple of opportunities to score against Ross the last couple of innings, but have not been able to get that hit. And Hisanori Takahashi will take over for Dan Haren.
I think with Takahashi, he's got to go out and put some zeros up, give the team a chance just to have one swing of the bat to get back in the game. His fastball command at times this year has not been consistent for him.
Dan Haren tonight went 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 5 strikeouts, 4 walks, 1 intentional. And here the 7th for Oakland. It'll be Pennington, Reddick, and Gomes. Pennington, the switch hitter, will spin around to hit from the right side for the first time tonight. 1-for-2 game for the shortstop. Had a base hit and a run scored in the 5th. First one from Takahashi is down low. 1 ball, no strikes. Hisanori pitching now in his 11th game. An 0-1 record, an 8.22 ERA. 7 2/3 innings, 10 hits allowed. 3 strikeouts and 2 walks. Opponents hitting .303 against him. As Pennington fouls it back, and it's 1-1. Pennington from the right side of the plate, a .175 average, 7 for 40. Came into tonight's game a .227 hitter from the left. Two balls and a strike. Pennington, Reddick, and Gomes here in the 7th for Oakland. This one's hit well down the left field line toward the corner, and that is just foul. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pennington lines one to left. Vernon Wells coming on, and he'll make the running catch for the first out. Fans, on Wednesday, the Angels will be taking on the White Sox at 7:05. Fans in attendance will receive a Peter Borges bobblehead courtesy of Natural Balance while supplies last. Purchase tickets today at the Angels Stadium ticket office or by logging on to angels.com. There's Josh Reddick, who homered in the first inning. Grounded a double play to third and intentionally walked in the 5th. He scored 2 runs. Breaking pitch, skied out toward deep right field. Trumbo back at the wall, has a play on it, makes the catch, 2 down.
And Reddick does a nice job of staying in against left-handed pitching. Coming in this game, .295 versus lefty is compared to .287 versus right-handed pitching. Just got underneath that one. Earlier tonight, that ball had a chance of getting out. Trumbo did a nice job, got back to the wall, felt where the wall was at, and is able to make the play.
So 2 outs and nobody on for Johnny Gomes. 1 ball, no strikes. Gomes tonight is 0 for 3. Grant Balfour is loosening in the bullpen for Oakland, the former closer for them. The bottom of the 7th, Kayaspo, Wells, and Ibar, the scheduled 3.
Judging by the conversation with Kurt Young, pitching coach for the A's, and Tyson Ross, it looked like it appeared that was it for Ross as far as his night. Did a nice job as far as throwing strikes. That hasn't been the case all year.
2-1. Yeah, Ross came into tonight's game having struck out 13 but walked 11 in 25 and 2/3 innings. Struck out 2, walked 1 tonight. 2-2. Full count now. Seth Smith, left-hand hitting left fielder, is on deck. A couple of doubles for him tonight. 2 runs batted in. There's Balfour. 3-2 on its way. Gomes takes that one down low. That's a 2-out walk. Smith doubling up his doubles output with the 2 doubles tonight. Now 4 on the year. The 2 runs batted in, giving him 11. Oh, and 1. Pujols still holding Gomes on at first with 2 outs and a lefty up. And it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, good spot there to throw the fastball. Now he's got an opportunity to throw his breaking pitch off the outside corner to get through the inning now.
Swing and a miss on the breaking pitch. Wilson applies the tag. The inning comes to an end. 7th inning stretch time here at the Big A. The Angels down by the score of 4-0.
Brought to you by Land Rover. Josh Reddick in the first inning off Dan Heron hits his 9th home run of the season. And a ground ball that Alberto Callaspo could have been a double play. Not able to turn that. Seth Smith made him pay for another double down the line. Drove in 2 more, giving Oakland a 4-0 lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning, with the Angels an opportunity, 3 more at bats to be able to get back and take control of this game if somehow they get enough base runners to do so.
4-0 A's, bottom of the 7th inning. Grant Balfour is on in relief of Tyson Ross, and he'll face Callaspo, Wells, and Ibar. Tyson Ross, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, no runs. Now 26 2/3 career innings here at the Big A. He has walked 3. With 94 pitches tonight. Balfour, who started the season as a closer for Oakland, now really getting to that 7th inning. Rolls, and Callaspo looks at a strike. Alberto 1 for 2, a fly ball to center and a single. Oh, 2 count.
Bring back Balfour. He's a guy that will attack with his fastball. Still a solid fastball, 90 to 96 with the fastball. Curve, slider, changeup. Very aggressive in the strike zone.
1-2 now. 19th game for Balfour. 7 saves, 1-1 record, a 4.24 ERA. 17 innings, 14 hits, 13 strikeouts, and 7 walks. One, 2. Fouled back. Angels have left a man in scoring position in the 1st, the 5th, and 6th innings. Having stranded 6 overall base runners. Another 1-2. Called strike 3. 1 out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. First called strikeout of the game. Wells had an infield base hit in the 5th inning, 1 for 2. Grounded into a double play ball in the 2nd. This one hit to short. Pennington fires on the 1st. 2 down. So Ibar steps up now, 0 for 2. Bouncer back to the mound for Ibar and reached on a fielder's choice. Oh, 2 count.
Well, he's certainly not real happy not being in that closer role, but he has that closer mentality every time he takes the mound. There's no question about that.
1-2. Ibar fouls it back. Looks like Isringhausen will be coming on in the 8th inning. The 1-2 pitch. Ibar lifts this one out towards center field. Cowgill is back in. 1-2-3 inning for Grant Balfour. We've played 7, 4-0 Oakland.
West Patty melt from Carl's Jr. with jalapenos, pepper jack cheese, and Santa Fe sauce. It's a spicy twist on a classic burger. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Dodge.
Down to the 8th inning, Oakland's up by the score of 4-0. They got solo runs the 1st and 4th and 2 in the 5th. The Angels offense has been shut down by Tyson Ross through 6. Grant Balfour for 1. And to try to keep this a 4-0 deficit, Jason Isringhausen comes on for his 2nd consecutive night after he pitched last night against Texas.
Yeah, as a guy coming out of the bullpen, you always prefer to get as much work as possible. You're more consistent. You go in back-to-back games. ERA at 2.31 for him in 11 2/3 innings pitched, 7 punch-outs. So though the walk total a little bit higher than you're normally going to see out of Isringhausen.
Josh Donaldson to lead things off for Oakland. It'll be Donaldson, Barton, and Suzuki against Isringhausen. This one hit well out toward deep right center field. Trumbo giving chase, still going back. That's off the wall. Trout backing up on it, and Donaldson is in at second with a double, his first of the year.
What, the baseball is carrying pretty good here tonight. Even the ball that Eric Ibar hit to end the inning, that ball traveled real far. Also gets a fastball inside out approach on it. Ball going back to the wall, trying to get a feel for it, leaps up, but that ball's high off the wall. Good job by Mike Trout to be in position to back that up to keep him at second base.
Second major league double for Donaldson. Leadoff man is on board and in scoring position. Here's Derek Barton, the first baseman. Barton has walked twice and has struck out. Donaldson snapping an 0 for 17 stretch. Did have a sacrifice fly in the 4th. One and one. 1-1 pitch. Upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. Ken Herron got the start tonight, 6 innings, 4 runs allowed. Takahashi went 1 inning. He pitched his 7th, striking out 1 and walking 1. Bouncer to second. Sturis has it. 1 away as Donaldson advances to third. Let's take a look at the Chevron starting pitchers for tomorrow night's game.
Former teammates Bartola Colon and Urban Santana. Remember that last game Bartola Colon threw against the Angels at home was dominant, threw 38 straight strikes during that game.
I'm trying to forget that game. Thanks for bringing it back up.
But remember, Irvin won his last ball game, has thrown very well his last 3 starts.
Infield in for the Angels with 1 out and a man at third base. Kurt Suzuki's the batter. 1 for 3, a base hit to center field to fourth. One ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Isringhausen yesterday went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, no runs against Texas, pitching in the 8th inning.
I believe Kurt Suzuki will be swinging here, getting the green light 3-0. Get a fastball that's elevated.
3-1. Three one on its way. Suzuki loops this one out toward right center field. It's 5-0 Oakland. Leadoff double comes in to score. Suzuki with his 2nd hit picks up his 10th run batted in. One out, 1 on for Colin Cowgill, the center fielder. Infield base hit back into third, a 1 for 3 night. Suzuki coming into this game had just gone 2 for his last 17 over the last 5 games. Picking up 2 hits tonight, his 29th start at catcher. Breaking pitch hit out toward right center field. Trumbo moving back into his right is there. 2 down. Suzuki heads back to first. So back to the top of the order now for Oakland as Jamal Weeks will come to the plate. Weeks 0 for 3, was hit by a pitch in the 5th. The Halos in the bottom of the 8th inning, now down 5-0. We'll have 9, 1 and 2. Wilson, Trout, and Sturis. Suzuki takes off, picks up a stolen base. first of the year.
We're not anticipating Suzuki trying to steal the base. 5-0 here in the 8th. Slides in easily, no throw.
2 balls and a strike. The 2-1. Weeks lines one toward left field, tailing away from Wells, dives, and he makes the catch. He was playing shallow, able to track it down. The inning comes to an end, but Oakland tacks on a run on the leadoff double by Donaldson, a single by Suzuki as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Oakland leads it now 5-0. Semi-final matches in history of Fox Sports is proud to bring you exclusive live coverage of the UEFA Champions League final as Bayern Munich becomes the first team since 1984 to play the final in their home stadium to take on Drogba and Chelsea, with both teams looking to complete their improbable championship run. The UEFA Champions League final live Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, only on Fox. 5-0 Oakland, bottom of the 8th inning. The Halos have 9-1-2 coming up. It's Jordan Norberto coming on. It looks like Peter Borges is going to pinch hit for Bobby Wilson to start off this 8th inning. Brett Balfour went 1 inning. He pitched a scoreless 7th, retiring all 3 batters and had a strikeout.
Norberto has a good fastball himself, 90 to 95 range. Slider, changeup, but it's good to see Peter Borges get an opportunity, the energy he can bring to this club.
Peter Borges looks at a strike. Borges hitting 196, playing just in his 23rd game. Shows bunt. Started to offer at it, pulled it back. Now they ask for the appeal. Alfonso Marquez says he did not go. I think that's what Norberto was looking in for. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lays off. 2 balls and 1 strike. Roberto, a 25-year-old native of the Dominican Republic. That's down and in. 3 balls and a strike. The left-hander picked up last year in the Brad Ziegler deal. Non-waiver trade deadline deal. Pitched in 6 games last season with no record at 8.10 ERA. But most of the time down in the minor leagues. Here comes a 3-1 to Borges. Peter looks at a strike. Full count.
Good idea there. You're trying to get on base. 3-1 pitch, borderline. Take it. You need to get on. Whether you're there on a base hit or a walk.
Payoff pitch, a little chopper to the left side. Donaldson comes charging in. Borges is retired for the first out. Back to the top of the order now, and Mike Trout. Mike's 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs to short and a pop-up. Trying to push a bunt. Bunts it foul into the camera well. No 1 count on the Angels center fielder. Roberto pitching in his 14th game this year. No record at .363 ERA. Has 1 save. Off the end of the bat, fouled back. It's 0-2.
He sold that changeup pretty good. You're trying to gear up to his fastball. To turn that changeup over. Mike Trout out in front of that one.
Check swing foul. Jordan Walden, it appears, will be coming on in the 9th inning. One and two. Five hits tonight for the Angels. Trout takes that one inside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Halo's trying to avoid the shutout.
Well, that's something they've had a ton of them already this year. 7 times been shut out already this year.
Swing and a foul tip hung on to by Suzuki. 2 down. Yeah, that stat we reeled off a couple of innings ago, just astonishing. Just from the standpoint of you don't realize you get into a course of a season doing what we do. You don't necessarily keep track of those things. You get a feel for it, but that being held scoreless through the first 5 innings, 10th time this year that has occurred. That is just mind-blowing.
Takes away so many options for Mike Scioscia.
This is a base hit up the middle, 3-hit game for Asturias.
Because if you're behind in the game, whether it's 1-0 or 4-0, like was the case tonight through the 5th inning, you've taken away that ability to go hit and run. You got to be a little bit less aggressive if you're on first base to go first to third, because you don't want to be an out there. You want to give an opportunity to be able to score multiple runs in an inning.
No 1 count on Pujols, 0 for 3. Ground down, a line out, and a strikeout. Down it in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oakland with solo runs in the 1st and 4th. They take a 2-0 lead. They made it 4-0 in the 5th. 2 RBI double by Smith. And they got a run in the 8th off Isringhausen. This one lined to left field. And that's a base hit. Isringhausen will round second, head to third. And the Angels with back-to-back hits with 2 outs here in the 8th.
Better job of keeping his hands through the baseball there for Albert Pujols. Fastball up through the baseball, hit it well to left center field. Still just a little bit out in front enough. You see his front shoulder opening up off towards the end of the bat. If he keeps his shoulder in a little longer, that ball has a chance of getting out of the ballpark. So maybe enough to be able to get the confidence going for him once again.
Kendrys Morales will bat from the right side here against Norberto, the lefty, and Kurt Youngs will go out there and talk things over. Kendrys a .214 average from the left side, but only 14 at bats, 3 for 14. Does have an RBI. Tonight he's 0 for 2 with a ground out to first, a strikeout, and a walk. Looks like Ryan Cook begins to loosen again. He was up last inning, but once Oakland scored, they decided to get the left-hander up. First one is upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. One on one. Meister standing at third base. Pujols over at first. With 2 outs here in the 8th. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Well, now you have to shorten up your approach here. You can't. The first couple swings to try to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Now you got to think in terms of making contact here if you're Kendrys. Base it in the right field. He's going to throw that slider.
Evens the count.
Throw him a change up here.
The 2-2. This one off the end of the bat to second. Weeks has it. Inning comes to an end. We've played 8 at the Big A. 5-0 Oakland. Out of Market Game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Angels.com to order. Get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Top of the 9th, 5-0 Oakland. Jordan Walden comes on in relief. And Jason Isringhausen allowed a run on 2 hits in his 1 inning of work. They'll be throwing to a new catcher. That's John Hester behind the plate. The backup catcher since Chris Iannetta was put on the disabled list. And there's a new second baseman, Howie Kendrick, taking over from Meister Stewart, who had a nice 3-hit game.
Yeah, Meister did a nice job as far as fielding the position. Of course, getting those 3 hits. Jordan Walden in the game. 10 punch-outs in 8 innings pitched. And still the work in progress, getting more confidence utilizing his secondary pitch, in particular that slider he has. He also has a changeup. He's been messing around a little bit down in the bullpen sessions with a cut fastball also.
Pennington, Reddick, and Gomes are the scheduled 3 batters for Oakland here in the 9th against Jordan. First one's in for a strike. Pennington tonight 1 for 3. Had a base hit and a run scored to the 5th. We're assuming that the switch of Kendrick coming in, Hester was going to anyways because Wilson was pinch hit for, but Howie will be batting in the 9th spot. Central spot is now in the 2 hole. Just in case the Angels get a rally going in the 9th inning, get Howie up. But that's just a guess. 2-1 pitch, fouled off to left. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's exactly what Mike Scioscia decided to do.
A full count. Here's a 3-2. Ground ball towards short. Ibar has it, gets rid of it quickly, 1 away. Walden pitching Saturday afternoon's game. That was the 4-2 win over the Angels. Went 1 inning. Struck out a man. Faced the minimum 3 in that 7th inning.
A lot of bullpen sessions in between outings for Jordan. Try to get back. Always trying to refine his mechanics.
First one to Reddick is down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. And that is exactly what they did. So Howard Kendrick in the 9th spot. Hester in the 2 spot. 2 balls and no strikes. Reddick tonight is 1 for 3. 9th home run of the year, extending his hitting streak to 7 games. That came in the first as this one's lifted in the air. Into the outfield grass at left field. Eric Ibar makes the catch, 2 down. Reddick just missed his second in the 7th inning. Fly ball that took Trumbo to the wall and right. Walden gets the first 2 here in the 9th inning. Johnny Gomes will step to the plate. The Halos in the bottom of the 9th inning. We'll have Trumbo, Callaspo, and Wells due up. A couple of arms loosening for Bob Melvin. Roberto is done. Looks like Cook, the right-hander, is still warming. Breaking ball is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. I believe Jerry Blevins. Is the left-hander that's warming up. Johnny Gomes is 0 for 3. Strike on the outside corner, 1-1. 4:05 start tomorrow here at the Big A. Bartolo Colon and Irvin Santana. 2 balls and a strike. And if last year was any indication, advantage pitchers for the first several innings because of the sun setting and the shadows.
Yeah,
3 balls and a strike.
Most pitchers, starting pitchers, will be raising their hand and asking the manager, I'll take that start. Getting part of the game. If you can throw your break a pitch for a strike, well, you're at such an advantage at that point. Hitters are just kind of guessing with the fastball, hoping to go to a certain area to be able to make contact early in the game with those shadows and sun playing a big part of it.
Strike, and it's a full count. Gomes fouls it straight back. Another 3-2. And he walks him. A 2-out walk puts a man on. And Seth Smith will come to the plate. 6 walks issued by Angels pitching tonight. Dan Hare, the starter, issued 4 walks, which is complete opposite of his style. He had only issued 9 walks coming into the game this season, giving up 4 tonight, 1 intentional. Jordan falls behind at 1 ball, no strikes. Smith has had a 2-for-4 game, 2 doubles, 2 runs batted in. He has scored a run. Two and 0. A loss tonight for the Angels, and they lose an opportunity to pick up a game on Texas, who lost to the Kansas City Royals. Bruce Chen did a nice job against Rangers. Royals picking up the 3-1 win. Smith skies this one out to shallow left. Ibar going out. Wells coming on. It's Ibar with the call, makes the catch, and falls down to the knee. We head to the bottom of the ninth, and Oakland still on top 5-0. The bottom of the ninth inning. New pitcher on for the Athletics. Ryan Cook takes over. And here in the ninth inning, he'll be facing Trumbo, Callaspo, and Wells.
Boy, Cook has a real good fastball, 92 to 97. Very good slider, 16 punch outs and 16 2/3 innings pitched. He's only allowed 3 hits, 8 walks. Opponents hitting .060 against him. It's been that good, but he can be wild at times.
Clovis, California native, 24 years of age, was with the Arizona Diamondbacks and came over in that deal with Colin Cowgill and Jared Parker. Sent Trevor Cahill and Craig Breslow to the Diamondbacks. The product of the University of Southern California.
Or just an electric fastball.
Mark Drummond will lead things off. Mark's 1 for 3. Sent his hitting streak to 5 games with a second inning single.
Well, this would be fun to watch if Trumbo can square up a baseball with this type of fastball that Cook has.
The first one is just outside. 1 ball, no strikes. That one caught the corner to even the count. Cook made his major league debut last year, pitching in 12 games with the D-backs. 0-1 record, a 7.04 ERA. A 27th round pick in 2008. Breaking pitch, sharply hit into left field, a base hit. Leadoff man is on board. There's Trumbo, who picked up his first 3-hit game of the season last night, follows it up with a multi-hit game tonight.
Well, he continues to impress. I mean, we always talk about his home run power, but his ability to get to base hits too and hit the ball hard. Slider to stay middle of the plate, but he crushed it by Pennington at the shortstop position. Gets a base hit, his second hit.
Alberto Callaspo steps to the plate. A 1-for-3 game for Alberto. Probably wishes he could have that ground ball in the 5th inning back all over again. That was with the bases loaded and nobody out. Johnny Gomes bounced one to Callaspo. What looked to be a tailor-made 5-2-3 double play with nobody out at that point. Alberto threw low. He only got one out. Seth Smith eventually followed up with a 2 RBI double. It changed the feel for the game. At that point, made it 4-0. Two-0 pitch. 2-1.
Surprising though, with Callaspo up, Martin still holding on Trumbo at first base with a 5-0 lead.
Popped up. With Pennington, the shortstop is there. 1-1.
Why you can still create that hole between first and second if he hits the ball on the ground, not a pop up in the infield.
So Vernon Wells comes up. Wells 1-for-3 on an infield base hit his first time up. Fouls off the first pitch. Oh, 2 count. Oh, 2 count on Wells. That gets by Suzuki and that allows Trumbo into scoring position. So the Halos with a man in scoring position here. Cook's 1-2 pitch outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Overthrown fastball there.
Yeah, Suzuki was setting up inside. That ball was off the outside corner. Might come back with a slider here now against Vernon Wells.
Topper over to Dino Ebel.
Did come back with a slider and rolled over on that one, just pulled a foul.
Trumbo standing at second base. 2-2. Swing and a miss. 2 down.
We went with a fastball away. Perfect spot on. Vernon is trying to foul it off, unable to make contact.
So the Angels down to the last down have Eric Ibar up at the plate. Ibar is 0 for 3. 0-1. Lost tonight. The Angels would fall to 15-21 on the regular season. 9-9 here at the Big A. Ground ball is short. Pennington is over. And the A's take game 1 of this 2-game set by the final of 5-0 as the Angels have been shut out for the 8th time this year.
And 4 out of 5, the A's have beat the Angels this year. Pitched very well. Tyson Ross did a nice job as far as staying down in the strike zone. Josh Reddick started off with a big fly in the first inning off of Dan Herron.
So the Angels drop this one by the final of 5-0. Tomorrow it'll be Irvin Santana going up against Bartolo Colon. For Mark Gubicza, Victor Rojas, we thank you for watching. Stick around. Michael Lees and Jose Mota will have Angels Live coming up next.